Usually what happens is you have this ongoing balance between quantity leads and quality leads, right? So if we've got quantity leads and quality, often what happens is it's like you get heaps of leads for really cheap, but the quality is really poor. Or you go the other way and like you have really great leads that is very few and far in between. So what we need to do is this kind of balancing act between the two, right? And again, it's dials, not switches. And so we need to dial in physical and psychological resistance. So the first one is physical resistance. Now this is clicks, keystrokes, and scrolls. Simply put, this is just stuff you physically have to do, right? Really easy example of clicks is if you have a landing page and you have a button that says apply now, you click that button, it opens another page and then your form's there, probably cut your conversion rate in half. And so all you had to do is take that form and embed it there and get rid of that click.
Yeah, less steps the better.
Yep. Less clicks.
Less clicks the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an example of clicks. You can even go really, really micro with this. So let's say, for example, on your landing page, you've got the video here. Best practice would be have it autoplay with captions burnt in. Because if the video is just sitting there, well, now I have to click play to consume that information. Whereas if the video just starts playing and it will autoplay without sound, if it just autoplays, then I can at least read along with the captions and consume that information without having to click. Keystrokes. All right, so when you went to, I used to be a teacher, or at least when you were in high school anyway, and you have an exam, it's like 3 hours long, you got 3 sections, right? You got multi-choice, short answer, essay. Which section you go to first?
Multi-choice.
Yeah, because the answer's somewhere on the fucking page. Click C, 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 and just fucking pick the best, right? So what we want to do is we can lower physical resistance by just giving the multi-choice questions, right? So rather than saying, what industry are you in, and having an open text field where they've got to type out something, we just change that to multi-choice.
And over time, if you know your customer, you know the most likely 4 answers anyway.
Exactly, because like, everyone just falls into like categories, right? We can get into like category philosophy, but we probably don't have time. Then we've got scrolls as well, right? So scrolls is simply how far down the page do I need to scroll? So if this is the landing page, we have a thing called the fold. Now, most people know what this is, but the fold is like when you open the page, what's the first thing that loads? And the first section that loads is what's referred to as above the fold. If anyone's wondering about the origin, I know you're not. It comes from like newspapers. So that when they would fold newspapers and like hang them over like newspaper racks, the section above the fold had to like grab people's attention. So they put the big headline there, right? So that's the fold. When you click the ad, 100% of people will see what's above the fold. The further down the page you go, this is where the dials, not switches things come in, and like gradients. Like there might only be like 5% of people that reach the bottom of the page. And so if you have your form all the way down here, you just make it drastically more difficult for people to find this thing. All we need to do is take that form and move it either into the fold or just slightly below it, right? So scrolls is another really, really important one.
Now, for this one here, a lot of the sales calls that I've had, when I asked them, hey, did you see the outcomes that you would get from the workshop, which would be here somewhere? Did you have a look at the testimonials and go, oh, I didn't realize they were there?
Yep.
But they still booked a call.
Yep.
However, it was counterintuitive for them not to see that because they were asking questions that were there in the first place. How can I fix that?
So now you're getting into the ordering of things, right? So what we want to do is we can't fight this, we just have to accept this. So what we have to do is optimize the placement of content. So for example, this is obviously a bad example. FAQs placed at the top is kind of retarded because they don't know the big idea of what you do. You started at the micro, right? But when you have a big headline, like a feeling and a result, that's the big idea, right? Because everyone's gonna like look at this first, consume that information, and then furiously scroll around. The further down the page someone scrolls, it implies that they were not convinced and reach the same conclusion that other people might have. And so they're going more and more into the details. So you start big idea at the top, micro details at the bottom.